Man, can you believe that brother of mine took off? Listen, we just had 70-degree weather, gorgeous weather, end of March coming in, and this guy takes off to the South Pacific on a vacation, right? The day he leaves is 49 degrees up here. What is really going on? This ain't April. Hey everybody, this is Ryan with the Farm to Table Direct Show, and today I'm up here at my house, outside of the studio, from behind the microphone. You can see our little rock house back there. I'm actually trying to find my gloves, seeing what I did. I'm getting ready to get on my tractor and go pick up some rocks. We had a water line installed for our daughter and son-in-law's mobile home. That nice rig over there. But anyway, I'm getting ready to pick up some rocks and stuff, and I've set my gloves down somewhere. Better set them in the house. But anyway, hey, back to our conversation. Thanks for tuning in to see what's happening here on the Farm to Table Direct Show. We're doing things a little bit different today. Gonna get over here and do some work. I'll show you this water line here in a second. You see all that dirt strip right there? That's over 300 feet of water line. Well, when you dig that kind of stuff up, well, rocks are everywhere. I live in the South Ozarks, Ozark National Forest of Arkansas, western Arkansas. And well, all I can tell you, and y'all will excuse my mess around here, I'm not always the most organized person. Oh, look out. Say hi, everybody. Say hi, Sadie. That's our dog. That's our pupper dog. I'm gonna have to edit all that out. Anyway, okay. So hang on just one second, everybody. All right. Well, I'm back, and I found my gloves. They were in my tool bag from where I was working the other day. Imagine that. We're gonna pick the old tripod up here, and we're gonna go for a stroll past my truck here. I'm gonna go out to the tractor, and I'm gonna drive the tractor over, and anyway, pull it out here and start picking up rocks, because here's the deal. Springtime, grass is growing, and guess what has to happen? What has to happen is I gotta mow grass pretty soon. That's what's gotta happen. And well, as my wife illustrated, that if I tried to mow this grass with this ditch work here and all these rocks, that I was probably going to be tearing my mower up, and I don't want to do that. But anyway, so we're here out on the homestead, if you will, on our property up here, and so you get to hang out with me for a little bit. Listen, my brother left town. I'm not joking. He's out of the country. He's in the air flying somewhere right now. The picture I showed you at the beginning was him on the airplane, getting ready to leave. Anyway, he's out here, and he left me in charge of the Farm to Table Direct Show. And that might be kind of scary. I don't know. He's usually a little more reserved, a little more controlled than I am, but I'll get a little wild, get a little crazy. Not really, but maybe a little. But no, I wanted to give y'all a glimpse out here, and as you can see, them clouds, man, I mean, it was sunshine just the other day. Beautiful Easter Sunday and Saturday before, and you know, of course, the Homestead Expo was nice, but man, anyway, a lot coming up. We're gonna do some things different. I'm gonna start trying to get some videos out a little more frequently than we've been good at doing, but anyway, and maybe some different content. Let y'all see a little bit into the life up here on the homestead, life up on the place up here. We haven't actually named it, so I don't know, we'll get around to that. But anyway, but yeah, so we're gonna go take care of this here in just a minute. And I just want to jump in here and let y'all know that, you know, coming up this next Tuesday, 1 week from today, we're going to be sitting down with Dodge and Chris Thompson from, let's see, Hippie Callier Homestead, and also the ones that are behind the Oklahoma Homestead Rendezvous. been texting with her and him and messaging back and forth and whatnot. And as y'all heard us last night talk with them just a little bit on the live, or well, she was in the chat when we're talking. We're going to save all that deep conversation. But anyway, there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes for this rendezvous. This is not the Farm to Table Direct Show's rendezvous. It's not our program. We're just kind of trying to be helpful and, you know, supportive, which is what we're all about, helping build community and all that stuff. But listen, my dog's sniffing on the tripod, so if it starts moving, it's her. But anyway, seriously though, to all our new family, new subs, you know, thanks for tuning in, and thanks for joining. Those who have been with us through it. You know, there's going to be a lot of exciting things coming up in 2024. I feel it, some good, some bad. We got the eclipse coming up here in just under a week. Everybody's kind of big deal over here in this part of the country. But I don't know what you want to call it, getting ready. They say we're going to have millions of people going through the area. I know down south of my brother and some of them, the National Guard's being called in. There's a lot going on. I've seen an eclipse before. I've seen a solar eclipse before, lunar eclipse before, you know. But, you know, a lot of people out there chattering about it, talking about, you know, it's coming over Jonah, Texas, and Nineveh, and the biblical implications with the year of Jonah and that type of thing. And then there's, and I mean, you know, if you're right with your maker, if you're right with the Lord, then, well, you know, go on about business. Just prepare for life as always. But what got me is the way the government's acting. I'm not going to say any more because I don't want to get too many strikes on me before day one of the month without my brother there to rein me in. But just say that, you know, just a lot of curious behavior around this one. But anyway, we'll get to that later on. I'm going to dig into that, especially as the eclipse is going on. I'm hoping to be able to, maybe be able to, you know, get here on, you know, get some video on that because it's coming through our area. You know, it's going to get pretty dark up here, but I'm not too far off the direct path. But anyway, so, you know, hey, here it is. We got a ton of work to do up here. We got just over 4 acres we bought up here about 4 years ago, and been working on it. Wasn't living up here. Daughter and son-in-law were living in the main house, which you saw behind me a while ago. But anyway, now they've got a new grandbaby, and they wanted a new place, so they got a mobile home. So me and the wife moved up here, lived in the travel trailer for about 3 months straight through the winter. And I've said before, my hat's off to Brandon and them over on the Eddie Farm, and Dutch and them living off grid, and, you know, living in a travel trailer with kids and all that. And man, hats off to you, because 3 months with me and wife, 2 cats, we was getting used to it. But I was happy to be back in the house, that's a renovation project. We'll get to show you some of that on another day. But anyway, you know. So we're going to get started up here. I'm got a lot of plans. You know, of course, plans take time and plans take money. But hopefully we'll be able to bring y'all along on the journey and share some of kind of a little more personal part of our life. I'm wiggling around here because my dog is wanting attention. She's loving on it. This is my grand dog, which is actually my daughter and son-in-law's dog, but we feed her and take care of her, so it's ours too. But anyway, let's see, it's a little bit cold out here, but figure it's a good time to get some work done out here on the homestead. And you know, as my brother is off enjoying a sunny tropical vacation in the South Pacific, you know, lucky dog. But anyway, now we're her tail's whacking the leg of the tripod. That's great. That's perfect. But anyway, you know, the share a little bit of this side of life with y'all. And I've got some footage from back in the fall and before, when we started working on the place, and I'll tell you, it's a total transformation landscape around here. But and I may be able to put some of that together later in a compilation and show y'all guys. But yeah, it's a lot of work out here. Of course, if y'all have property and have homesteads, y'all know it's work every day. But we're getting ourselves a little closer, you know, to being, which we're further away. We're out, you know, away from the town, big city and everything, but we're getting ourselves ready to start working on this place, and, you know, try to hopefully have maybe a greenhouse or aquaponics. We're not sure yet, but I know I got some elderberry trees from Bob and them over at Olive Branch Aquaponics, I've got to get in the ground real soon. And I got a few other things I got to take care of. Got an apple tree growing out back. It's surviving in spite of us, but it's nowhere near production. But anyway, I'm gonna get this and get to work for a few minutes, and then we'll get back with you. All right. Well, hey brother, come here. Oh. Whoo, that's kind of loud, wasn't it? I bet that hurt. I may have to be a little more careful with that. Oh. Had to dig that one out a little bit. Some of these are kind of been ran over. Had time to sink down. I might not be growing crops yet, but I do have a rock farm going on up here. I can tell you that. I got a rock farm. That's actually what I got. Ugh. That'd have been a killer right there. What this is. Now. But anyway, probably gonna have my wife in shock. She's coming home from work and I'm working instead of being behind a computer working on something else. Thinking about going to local Bible study tonight. And we want to go meet those folks. They've got a Bible study in a volunteer firehouse. Anyway, found it quite interesting. But anyway. Oh. May have to go get my rock bar, get some of this up. Oh, another big killer right there. That's life in the Ozarks. Oh, we got out here on the road. People on four-wheelers. Anyway, trying not to get ran over by people in pickup trucks. Oh, this out here where I'm at, just a few short months ago, I guess 5 or 6 months ago when we started this, was just had a bunch of trees. What you call crepe myrtle, and a couple other kinds out here. Anyway, I don't know if you can see that utility pole, but there's 2 more this other direction behind this that was, well, to be quite honest with you about the issue, wasn't real cool. Had to take down 2 trees and 1, 2, 3 crepe myrtles, and right here in this brown patch right here by where the dog's standing was another crepe with a couple of some other kind of weird bush growing, and we had to use a mini axe to get that daggone thing out. It was a beast of a bush, but I wanted it gone. Utility company came in, had to run electric over for the mobile home, the way the regulations are and whatnot. Anyway, they had to put these new poles in. Well, there's an easement on both sides of that, and you couldn't have no brush. Well, the right-of-way crew come in, took down 2 trees and these crepe myrtles. Now, the 2 trees I didn't care about. I mean, I cared about them, but they're what we call paper trees around here. I don't know, it's soft wood, but anyway, it's in the wood pile to be cut up and burned later. I know that. But the wife, needless to say, wasn't real happy about them crepe myrtles being cut down. Good thing about crepe myrtle is they're stubborn. It's virtually impossible to kill them things. I mean, sort of poison them. And so I told her, I said, it might take a little while, but they'll grow back. So anyway, that's what's going on there. But I'm harvesting rock off my rock farm, because that's what I feel like I got up here. Because there is no place on this property that I've dug with hand or machine that ain't been full of rocks and boulders and everything else. So, you know, it is definitely a chore, and I have got a bunch of rock out here to try to get up off the ground. That's what I'm doing. Anyway, y'all just listen to my commentary as I'm going. Anyway, this is the unglorious part of owning property. It's doing the little things that nobody, except for now y'all, nobody sees you do. And you say, why are you picking these rocks up? Just, you know, leave them be. Like I said, don't want to turn my mower up, for one. Two, after I get a bunch of these rocks picked up and hauled out of the way, which I may use for some other purpose, but my intent is to back drag and box drag. May even have to bring the skid steer up. I don't own one, but I know a fella. Anyway, and we're going to back drag this, and I'm going to get this cleaned up where when the grass grows back, get it smoothed out, you never know it's here, because I want my grandkids to be able to come out in this area and play, not have to worry about things. Don't know if we're going to use this meadow. I'll show you here in a minute. I'll spin this around. It is a gorgeous, probably one of the most level. We've got a few level places up here on the property, which anybody who knows this part of the country, this part of Arkansas, finding anything remotely level is almost unheard of. I'm gonna be right back. Where do I got that? I'm gonna be right back. I gotta go get my rock bar. Well, y'all can listen. I think the range on this, you'll be able to hear me. Anyway, I'll get my rock bar. And some of these gotten buried down in there a little bit more stubborn to get loose. And, but anyway, as crazy as it makes me, this type of weather, when it's not cold, but it's cool, is when I like to get out and do this kind of work, because, well, quite frankly, I don't sweat, I don't get overheated, and I can actually do a lot more work. So as I was saying, rock bar. And just like that, a rock that I couldn't get up is up. I'm gonna have to move the tractor here in a minute, but I want to get these oh. And again, digging these out because I want to have good, smooth going zones up here, because I am going to do some. My neighbor has what they call a rock rake, and I probably need to borrow it from him one day, maybe this weekend, and come and hook it on the back of the 3-point and drag around and get a bunch of this piled up, these smaller stuff. They say that it leaves like little scratches in the soil. I'm not real sure. But anyway, so this is life. This here's a whole lot of this. I'm gonna get my boys up here, youngsters. I say youngsters, they're in their 20s, 30s. It's young to me. Get them up here. All that. Yeah. Okay, that thing. Anyway, these little ones bad. These things, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna come up here and talk to you for a minute so you can see me. See these little rocks like this? A little rock like that ain't no big deal. Perfect for pond skipping and what like that. I'm gonna tell you about these little rocks. Lawnmower hits this, it launches it into a $200 window, or worse, house window. Hits the truck, dings the paint, that kind of thing. These are the little dudes you gotta watch for. Them big ones, they'll hurt your blade. They might hurt your lawnmower, but that's it. But hey, listen, folks, there's a lot of crazy going on in the world. Take time to talk about this for a minute. A lot of crazy going on in the world right now. People are losing their mind over this eclipse and what it could mean or couldn't mean. Up is down and down is up, left is right, right's left. You know, the economy is stinking. Gas prices through the roof, food prices through the roof, which, hey, listen, old Sleepy Joe, fuel prices still hadn't hit what they hit under the president before the last president. I remember those 8 years, and there was quite a good spell there of over $4 a gallon, and the gas tank on my truck never saw a full tank. Couldn't afford to. I was making a little bit less money back then, but you know, things are bleak, things are rough, but all hope is not lost. I know if you watch the news, especially the mainstream media, watch those channels, you'll think it is. It's gloom and doom and all those sorts of things. And well, I'll tell you, it's really not. Because I have hope in the community. I have hope in the people that I meet on a regular basis. People that we meet in the homesteading community, the farming community, the ranchers, farmers markets. Where I live, there's a one-stop convenience store type place. Has a grill, and so you can get cooked food, and they got a little bit of deli, grocery, fast food, diesel, gas. You know, typical store, but it's the honestly, I mean, quite honestly, this little town, it's the only, outside of a grocery store and D General, it's the only food in town. You got to drive 15, 20 minutes or so into town for restaurants and that sort of thing. I mean, so we're out of the big town, but not so far you can't go. But you know, point being is talking with that woman and being around her and some of the people in them stores, you know, gives you a little bit of hope in the sense that you see the hard-working people of the world. You see the honest folks and you know, a sense of community and pride and just good people. And that's why we moved up here to this little town, you know, out here beside it. But anyway, you just have hope. I got a great neighbor over here behind the camera. You know, he's off over beside me. He's a scrap metal guy. He's a retiree. He scraps metal and stuff. My wife don't like the pile, but you know, I don't blame her. It's pretty ugly. But you know, he's just trying to make ends meet, like the rest of us. But no, it's that's the hope I have. You know, outside of my hope in the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and the hope and the confidence in my family. And I'm watching my dog run down to the end of the driveway. Them two people went back by on the four-wheelers, and she's going to snoop and investigate. And she'll come rolling back. Rarely does she go past the driveway or the fence or the property line. But anyway, she just don't like she don't like that stuff running around. She's a little protective, and that's okay. I ever get a gate up there, she ain't gonna know how to behave. And the way she's acting, my wife might be getting close to being home. Anyway, but you know, that's the hope that I have. I mean, my own hope within my belief and faith. But then you meet the average person. You're out here on the street, you know, and you meet them, and that's what gives you hope. And then you meet people that we've met through the homesteading community and everything, and it just restores hope. It gives you even more confidence. But you know, folks, listen, there's powers that be out there. There's evil in this world. I heard this the other day. Why do bad things happen to good people? Why, you know, if God's sovereign, God can do all these things. Could he stop it? Yes, he can. You know, I heard this preached, and it's good stuff. It's one of the best answers about bad things happening. And why doesn't God stop? Well, it's because he gave us free will. He gave us the choice to choose. And evil and sin, and you know, if I'm offending you with that, well, I'm sorry, but not really. It's just how I believe. But anyway, evil's in this world, and everything in this world, of this world, has been touched by it. And there are people who are after power, they're after money. We've seen just here recently all this stuff going on with P. Diddy and all the things and names being thrown and stuff, and that evil that is existing in the world of child exploitation, child slavery and sex trade and everything else, and drugs, and just everything going on in this world that, you know, people want to try to brush under the rug, but, you know, not here. Anyway, you know, it can get a fella down, but the reality is, you know, there's hope. There's hope. As long as people stick to the values that God instilled, and as long as people stick to values that made this country great, you know, we can save it. We got people out there that are fighting the fight, and we can do our part by supporting them and being helpful to them. But anyway, that's that for that. Listen, folks, as old Doug over there on Off-Grid and with them says all the time, don't let them catch you in a trick bag. That's when I heard him say that the first time, it cracked me up. And but anyway, him and some others are out there telling the news and telling it like it is. And but just keep your head on a swivel. Pay attention. Watch the news. You know, take and pick out the good in it. Pick out the what they're really saying. And you know, there's a lot going on, and we'll talk more in the coming weeks about some of that. I said my brother might wish he hadn't let me loose with the YouTube channel and the Facebook page, but y'all gonna get a little taste of Ryan, unfiltered, maybe a little bit, somewhat filtered. Got to keep it clean for Facebook and YouTube, and I don't use that kind of talk anyway. I mean, I'm just talking about terms you can't use and things you can't say without getting a strike. But you know, man. People got a lot to say. There's a lot going on in this old world, you know, and I didn't get these gray hairs by, you know, on accident. And, you know, I woke up one day and there was the old man. And, but like that old Toby Keith song, don't let the old man in. That's why I'm out here working. I'm standing here talking to you right now, but I'm out here working. Anyway, folks, listen, keep your head on a swivel. Be observant to things. You ain't got to be noisy, you ain't got to be loud, you ain't got to make a lot of fuss. Keep your eyes open, your ears open. Pay attention to what's going on in this world. We'll talk more about these things in the coming weeks, coming days. And, you know, until then, keep it real. Pay attention. As we always say, and even though this is a little different aspect of the Farm2Table Direct Show, as we always say, prepare for the unexpected and keep it local.